From Press Communications LLC, this is Jersey Shore Matters with Dianne DeOliveria.
If you think you don't have enough time to fulfill your goals or accomplish things you have always thought about doing, you're going to hear from someone today that will make you stop procrastinating and realize there really are no excuses. Good morning, I'm Dianne DeOliveria, and joining me today is someone I'm proud to call my friend, a woman with many titles, including her newest title, author of Life Gets in the Way, Sally Kalksma. I'm so excited to have you back on the show. It's almost a year now that you said you were writing a book, and here you are, you've completed it.
Oh, Dianne, thank you for having me. I always love being on your show. It's like, because we're friends, I feel like we're just sitting here, like, at the kitchen table having coffee or maybe a glass of wine. I just I love it.
Well, I just want to give a little background about you, though. You're a longtime Pine Beach resident, a mother of 3, and before being diagnosed with the rare blood cancer multiple myeloma, you had a successful career, a husband, and you were an accomplished runner, and still are, and race director of the Pine Beach 5K. Things have changed so much for you. You're now an author, world-ranked stair climber, blogger, motivational speaker, video talk show host, and what else am I leaving out?
Who knows? Let's see what I feel like doing tomorrow, because you always have the ability to change. You always have the ability to go after something. Age shouldn't stop you. Race shouldn't stop you. Sex shouldn't stop you. No matter what, you can do it. You set a goal. You don't let anything get in your way. Like my book says, life gets in the way. You just have to adjust, and you can still move on and do things. And sometimes you're going to find you do things you didn't expect you could do. And that's exactly what happened with my life. I had no idea I would be doing any of this when I was diagnosed with cancer, let alone a year later when my husband died of cancer. I wasn't hosting a video talk show. I wasn't writing a book. I wasn't stair climbing. But things got in my way, and I had to adjust my life, and I went with it. And I'm really pleased with where I'm at right now.
You know, it's really incredible to me because you are the bubbliest person I have ever met. And I really mean that. You're high energy. You're always smiling and laughing. You never, ever stop being that way, even with everything that you were dealing with. Now, I knew a little bit about your background. I knew your husband also had a rare cancer. I knew what you were dealing with, but I didn't know the extent of everything, which you go into more detail in your book. And when I was done reading it, I'm going, oh my God, I've done nothing with my life. With everything you have done.
You're the best watering coach. Get out of here.
But that's silly. I'm just talking about I have not had cancer, for everything that you have gone through and what you've been able to accomplish and are still accomplishing. It's just really astounding. What made you decide to share your story? Because it is personal.
It's very personal. And I have to tell you, this fall, I was very stressed and very scared. I told my boyfriend, I told my sister, I did not want to release the book. I called my best friend. I said, I can't do this. These are personal memoirs. And they're like, no, Sally, it's going to help somebody. Get it out there. I always loved to write, but it was very personal. I never shared it. I've written a children's story, a fictional story, and always kept my memoirs going way back, as you could see in the book.
Yeah.
So it's very personal, and it's like a form of art. People are going to criticize it. Some will love it. Some will hate it. Some will just be like, oh, well. And you have to be ready to take that criticism. And I wasn't sure if I could. Now, I have to say, the scariest part was having my 3 children. There's things in there like, you're like, uh-oh, I'm their mother. I
have a question. Did you share any of the book with them before it was published? Did they read any of it, or did they only see the finished product?
They only saw the finished product.
Wow,
they were
okay.
Scared. Let me tell you, I told one of my daughters, that one of the chapters was called Politicians, Firefighters, and Rock Stars. She was shaking in her boots.
Uh-oh.
She's like, Mom, is there anything in there I should know now? I have to be the first to read this. I said, yes. As soon as I got the book, I sent it overnight to my 3 children to read first. And they loved it, and they were proud of me, and that meant the world to me. And I told my boyfriend, I don't care how many people do not like this book. If it helps one person, then my goal is accomplished.
You know, I know you, obviously. And so when I read the book, I can hear your voice in my head as I was reading the book. You're reading it to me because I know your mannerisms, your expressions. You know, you made me laugh, cry, laugh. You know, the whole book was like a little roller coaster. But it left me very inspired, which I think is the point of it. And, you know, it's just, I know you, but I think if someone, even if they've never met you, would still get those same reactions that I got knowing you. I mean, that's what I think. And, you know, I didn't want to put the book down. I got through about 8 chapters and I had to stop, and then I couldn't wait to get back to finish it. So that's the impact it had on me.
Thank you. And I hope that people don't know me will like it, will relate to it, and be like, wow, I can do this. I can change. I can move on with my life. It's not over. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish what you were going to say.
I just want people to know if there's a setback, it's okay because it's not going to last forever. Things always change. Things always evolve. If you're having a bad day over and over again, eventually you're going to have a good day. And you don't realize the good days. You know, you just go through you only realize the bad days or the super high days. But every day you're alive and nothing out of the ordinary happens. That's actually a good day. And you have to learn to appreciate that. And that's what I want people to realize. And when they have a bad day, it's okay. Or roll with it and find the humor in it. There's been so many bad days that I just look for the humor in it. And it's like I said in my book, I can make a joke out of everything. I'm very careful with other people's feelings. But with my own, no.
And I want to get to that in a second. I just want to remind our listeners, I'm your host, Dianne DeOliveria, and with me this morning is Sally Kalksma. She is a personal friend, but she also is the author of Life Gets in the Way. She's an Ocean County resident, a mom of 3, a widower, a cancer survivor, and the book is very inspiring. Now, as I said, I don't want to, give too much away about what the book is about, and this is not for people who have cancer or survive cancer. This is for anybody to really just feel inspired. And if you think you can accomplish goals, regardless of whatever, you really need to see what Sally goes through, read this book, and you will feel like you can accomplish anything, and you should be. Especially, she had an illness and was able to, you're still living with multiple myeloma, but you're still conquering things, and it's amazing to me. But one thing that made me crack up, like you said, you make jokes, with yourself. You had bandages on your neck. You were laughing so hard. You said the bandages popped off. Blood was squirting everywhere because you were laughing so hard. And the poor intern at University of Penn Hospital didn't know what to do, was freaking out. And I'm cracking up. But then the next minute I'm crying, So I'm picturing you in that, moment as I'm reading the book.
I'm so glad I'm able to pull those emotions from a reader. That means so much because that's what you go through in life, and you have to realize you have these emotions, and they could be sad one minute, but they could be happy the next. And I was lying in bed after going through, treatment, and I have these things dangling out of my neck that take the blood out, put the blood back in, and the intern and I were just making funny jokes until I laughed so hard the bandages blew off, the blood squirting everywhere. You had to see him, the poor guy. He's like trying to get bandages. I was laughing the whole time because it looked like a bad B horror flick.
I mean, I'm glad you can laugh about it, and we're laughing about it in that moment. But, it's just amazing to me how you were able to keep your sense of humor through everything you have gone through are still going through. What do you...
I enjoy life. I love life. We only get, as corny as this sounds, we only get this one chance on Earth. And you have to make the most of it. That's why when somebody says, Sally, do you want to do this? I'm like, sure, why not? Because you only get this one time on this earth to do these things and enjoy life. And
you really are making the most of it.
With or without cancer, yes, I'm making the most of it. And it's like in my book, I say how you have to arrange the blocks of time in your life so you can prioritize and do what
And I was just going to bring that up. Yes, because I like how you even show a diagram of, how you used to prioritize things in your head. Mm-hmm. And, you'd set aside certain times for certain things, and that's what, helped you get through things. So just, explain a little bit about that without giving too much away.
Okay. So there's so much I want to do. And whether it's in a day or a month, setting a goal. So you it might be easier to say a pie chart, but I don't use a pie chart. I use a big square, kind of like a Rubik's Cube that can move around. And the boxes expand and they shrink. Now, family always takes a large box. And running or working out takes a large box. And then, of course, my job, I have to say I have a job there, too. That takes a box. Now, if something happens like my health, another box has to shrink, whether it be working out, and then the treatment will consume a larger box. Or usually the first thing to go, like I shrink down, maybe my social life, because I always want to work out. I feel no matter what I'm going through, mentally and physically, I have to keep those endorphins going. As you know, as a runner, it's mind over matter. And you can accomplish anything as long as you tell your brain you could do it. Your body will follow. So working out always stays like a major box. But, for instance, I have my home life. Cleaning is a very tiny little box in my home life. When it needs to be, I can expand it, and that means something else will have to shrink. I know I can't do everything. I have a lot of balls in the air, and I like to keep them up. But I have to know that, okay, I can't do everything. It may seem like it in my book, but I prioritize, and that's how I get things done.
And you have gotten so many things done. It truly is amazing. So what is next for you? I don't even know. I say that because I know you already have a list of a million things, and I'm thinking I haven't even accomplished 1/10 of what you've done, and I know you're already, working on your next things. So what's next?
Well, what's next is I'm going to make this book an audiobook. So after the holidays, I'm going into the studio, and I'm going to record the book so people can listen to it via audio. After that, I am hoping that this world is in a better place. Hopefully the vaccine will work and everybody's healthy and we can go back to living the way we did in 2019. And I'm hoping I could get back to racing again because I haven't done a race since last March.
Yeah.
So right now, my immediate goal is audiobook and get back to racing. Future goal, I don't want to say I might be dabbling in a little bit more writing, but probably. I love blogging, and I love getting out there to people, a message in my blogs. I always leave people thinking, oh, yeah, I can do that, or maybe we should do this. And I do have some more video shows that I'm going to host.
That's such great news. Glad to hear you have so many things on your plate. And I want to mention, we're almost out of time. You are donating a portion of the proceeds of your book, Life Gets in the Way, to the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation. How can people get the book?
They can go to my website, sallykalksma.com, SallyKalksma.com, and there's a link right there, and you can order it on Amazon, either paperback or Kindle, or you can hit the link for Barnes & Noble, or you can hit the link for Indie Books, or if you want, you can just go into a Barnes & Noble bookstore, and some of them locally will have the book. If not, they'll order it for you. Even if you don't read the book and you purchase it, part of the proceeds go to cancer research and helping others, because I'm going to give a part to the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation. That means so much to me.
Yeah, and I will tell you, as someone who has read the book, I really got a lot out of it. And, I hope people who do get the book feel the same way. It left me feeling inspired and like I need to get off my butt and do something. So thank you for that. I wish you, a better 2021, health, happiness, and I can't wait to see the next chapter of your life. Thank you so much, Sally.
You can hear Jersey Shore Matters with Dianne DeOliveira every Sunday morning on Press Communications, LLC.